Up, only 2 races left of the season. We are in the penultimate round of the season for season 13, and we are going to be taken to the streets of Las Vegas for round 19 of season 13 in the RPL. This is the RPL Vegas Grand Prix. Ironwolf on hand for comms here tonight, and we are looking at about 17 people participating. We're waiting on one individual, that being Edvin. And, yeah, let's take a look at everybody that's going to be involved here for tonight. So, in the McLarens, we have Willow and Gecko in the McLaren. Edvin should be joining momentarily. He's going to be with Skither and Ferrari. We have Blonde on loan to Red Bull. He's going to be with Twin Penguin, also in Red Bull as well. Reese and Shorts will be together in the Mercedes. Aston, there's nobody, unfortunately. No one in Aston. Then, in Alpine, we have Cookie, who's moved from McLaren to Alpine. He's going to have Union on hand. In Haas, we have Alex Norris and Kyo Senshi, who made his debut last week in Brazil. Then we have V-Carb, we have Jack and Rhythms in the V-Carbs. Williams, we have Trat Racer and Cryptic. And Goat Lee is by himself in the Kick Sauber. That is our group for those involved for tonight. Let's take a look at the race results from Brazil. So, for qualifying, Alex Norris was on pole position over Willow and Cookie. Willow wound up getting his first ever win after Cookie got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits, but he also got an additional 5-second penalty for cutting the pit exit line. But despite those penalties, Cookie still remained in second, only getting ahead of the third place Edvin by 0.6 of a second. Now, in the Drivers' Championship, Cookie, the championship leader, is at 351 points. Second is still up for grabs. It's still a hot topic here between Skither, who has 207, versus Willow, who has 205. And sitting in fourth right now, is Gecko with 169. In the Constructors' Championship, let me just make sure I have this correctly. Let's see. 2. Yep. Okay. So McLaren, they have their constructors completely locked down. They're at 605 points. Now Ferrari has the chance to lock second in the constructors over Mercedes. Now Mercedes is behind by 79 points. So the only way for Mercedes to keep it going and get a fight for second in the constructors, they need to outscore Ferrari by 37 points. That's a tall order, but anything is possible in regards to RPL. Like I said, the difference is 79 points. Ferrari at 441, Mercedes at 362. Now Red Bull has fourth place in the constructors lockdown. I'll have to look at it again, but I believe this is the lowest in the constructors that Red Bull has finished ever in Tier 1 of fourth place. I'll have to double check on that just to be certain in that regard. But in the midfield, it's still hot. It's still hotly debated in the fifth position between Williams, Alpine, Haas, and Aston Martin. Those four teams have 49, 44, 39, and 34 points respectively. Like, no joke. Literally. Fifth to eighth. 15 points. Separates four teams. You gotta love it. Gotta love that, you know? But here we are in Vegas. For Vegas, last season, season 12, that race was won by Skither. He was the winner in that one, and Leo Lund was the first ever winner during season 11. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, not the first one. Let me go back here. Season 10 was won by Cookie. And then season 9 was won by Jack. So, yeah, so Jack, Cookie, Leo, and Skither. So this is our fifth foray into Vegas. We've had 4 different winners. Could we see a repeat winner? Could we see a repeat winner? Or could we see a new winner? Anything can happen in regards to that. So, looks like we just got an 18th individual. That'd be Timbed in the Sauber. Now, one thing I will say this. Now, Sauber still has yet to score a point in regards to the season. They have no points yet. Can they get it to happen? But let's go on board with Kiyo Senshi as he's heading into turn number 1 to get his first qualifying lap in. Up in the 5th gear, feathering, and then going flat out. Ooh, very close to the wall, exiting at 2. Good stuff. Gets it in the 8th gear, flying down that back straight. Gets to about 209, heading into the braking zone, turn number 3. And here's his first sector split. It's a 26.4 for the first sector split. Now into the sphere. Best be careful with the track limits on that second corner of the sphere. Nice and easy out of there. Front now on his way down. Back up through the gears. And now heading into the famous, heading towards the famous strip. Down the line he goes. Down Vegas Boulevard. Gets the speed up. Gets to about 210 with the overtake. Adds some more overtake. Gets to 215 now. And into the heavy braking zone. Into 14, 15, and 16 now, heading down Harmon Avenue. And into the final corner of turn 17 to get the benchmark put in. And Kiyo Senshi, it is going to be a 31.4 for your benchmark. Jack right behind with a 31.6. Alex Norris with a 30.9. We got some more cars coming in. Shorts on an interlap. Let's see, Torn Penguin with a 31.2. A Red Bull off behind the Haas. Let's see, looks like Willow is on the Vegas Strip, seeing it on our screens here. Behind him is Cryptic. There he is in the background there. Or that's Rhythms. I think that's Rhythms in the background. Yeah, it is Rhythms. I apologize. Alright, so here we go. Here comes Willow across the line, and he goes just ahead of Alex Norris with a 30.6 for his time lap. Rhythms just coming into the final corner, into there. It's a 36.0. I believe he was on Inters. Yes, he was. Just having some fun. Same with Cookie, he's on that too. Goat Lee, same with his as well. Well, we have a couple of guys on the interlaps, on some interlaps here. Let's go over. Let's go over season 14. So, season 14. This is from what I've seen, and Invade or Josh and them, if you could correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. But as it sits right now, from what I'm looking at, we have 3 seats still open for season 14. Because for people that have seats already taken in, as we go with Track Racer here. So, the teams that are set, we have Mercedes, which has Skither and Gecko. McLaren, which is housed by Cookie and Willow. Alpine, which has Reese and Beatnik. Williams, which has Florian and Maxwell. Ferrari has Shorts and Raphael. Haas with Kyo Senshi and Goat Lee. And Aston Martin with Torn Penguin and Alex Norris. Those are the 7 teams that have their driver pair completed. Now the 3 cars that have a driver but still need a second driver. We have Sauber, which currently has his Cam. V-Carb, which has Lero Fusion. And Red Bull, which has Edvin. Now those are the 3 seats that still need a second driver. So it's 1 Sauber, 1 V-Carb, and 1 Red Bull. At least that's what I was looking at when I was looking at the contracts in the contract channel on Discord. Well, Josh, I'm just going off of what I'm seeing in the Discord. I'm looking at the contract, seeing Tier 1 Season 14. I'm going off of what I'm seeing. That's why I said to you and Invade, if there's any that was incorrect, just say it. No need to slew insults. Alright, so Gecko looks like just went second fastest with a 30.7 on his end. Cryptic 31.2. 31.2, 31.4 for Track Racer on that one. And Reese is going to be restarting his. I should have known about Andrea. Did not know. Thinking the length section, didn't see that he had a 2 season, but good to know Andrea's on there. Good to know with Andrea. Okay. So let me put Andrea in for the Red Bull. Okay. Alright, so Andrea as well. Alright, so that part's cleared. Andrea in the Red Bull, so that's 2 spots. So that leaves just 2 spots. 1 V-Carb and 1 Sauber. Okay. All saying good now. Okay, looks like Timbet has called it. Oh yeah, I remember why. Because he joined very late. He had to serve a quality ban. Got it. Anyways, but yeah, thank you, Josh, for clearing up on the Andrea being the second Red Bull. Like I said, didn't realize when you had him for the season 13 contract. You said you put that the length was 2 seasons. Didn't see that, but good for that. Out of curiosity, anyone piqued your interest for your second V-Carb? There's probably some good drivers that probably are eyeballing for a spot. know my guess? You probably have it well handled and have it figured out. I know one thing, you definitely snagged a good driver with Fusion as the first V-Carb. Know that for sure. Tier 2 champion and Constructors champion. Season prior, Tier 3 champion too. Let's see how Blonde does in this Red Bull here, by the way, as he comes out of turns 14, 15, and 16. Coming across the line to get his time onto the board. Blonde on loan to the Red Bull here. And across the line he comes. Very solid stuff. It is a 30.9. Just goes just ahead of Alex Norris. And Gecko switches with Willow. Has the top spot with a 30.5. Okay, so looks like we got a couple more drivers. Gonna get some laps in here. Let's see. Shorts is just coming across the line to finish his. And he goes up to 9th fastest for his time. Let's go to the Ferrari of Skither. Now this will be a fight to watch over as when the race goes into effect. So we mentioned it at the start of the broadcast. Skither and Willow are 2 points apart. As Cookie goes up to 6 in that Alpine. Goatley looks like just improved his lap. He's got a 32.6. Way a bit behind. He's at the bottom of the pot right now. Skither comes across to 31.1. So that's about half a second behind Willow right now in Q1. Also, Alex Norris, by the way, believes he's done enough to get through into Q number 2. I mean, he's 4th fastest in that Haas, so good stuff. Union comes across, he's in 12th. And we have 2 more cars yet to get a lap in. We have Reese, who's on the Vegas Strip. Edvin just clearing the sphere. Let's take a peek at Reese here. Reese... let me just take a small gander. As Reese goes to 6 on the timing and scoring. Let's go to Edvin. He's flying on down. Gecko's down the nut to get through into Q number 2. He's on top of the board. Speaking of Reese, where was he? Ah, there he is. 7th in the standings. So it looks like he has a possibility to take 6 if all things pan out the way he hopes. But here comes Edvin across the line, and he goes up to 3rd right now. So top 5 are in the 30s. And it is exactly 0.4 of a second between the top 5, with Alex Norris being the surprise of that top 5. With that time right there. Whoa, hello! Was that Cookie? It was! Cookie had to take avoiding action from Edvin and almost clubbed the wall on that straight. Damn! Let's ride on board with Cookie, the season 13 champion. And now here he comes down the strip. He's improved by about 0.3. So this is going to put him right with Alex Norris and Blonde right now. But let's see what he's got as he heads to the braking zone. Got to a maximum of 217. Jack, by the way, just went up to 7th on his part. Goes about 0.4 thousandths ahead of Reese and about half a tenth behind Skither. There comes Cookie. Across the line he goes, and it's a 31.029. So he will go into sixth place. Now, only 2 drivers will be knocked out of Q1 right now, and currently those 2 spots are occupied by Rhythms and Goat Lee. But if you have to take a peek from 6th all the way down to 16th, the gap is only just over 6/10 of a second between that group of 11 cars. So, I mean, even though Rhythms has a 31.6 and the 2 cars ahead of him, Shorts and Union with 31.4s, honestly, I would say, like, guys like Cryptic just called it, but guys like, Trat, Shorts, Union, maybe Penguin, I don't know if you guys might be safe or not. I mean, and heck, maybe Goat Lee might pull off a surprise and get himself into Q2 with that Kicksauber. I mean, anything is possible in this. Looks like Edvin and Blonde, they have gone into the pits. They are good to go. I mean, they definitely are going to be safe enough to make it into Q number 3, into Q number 2. So here is Goat Lee going past the spear. I believe there is Rhythms just ahead of him. So you have to keep an eye on these 2 here. Let's go with Rhythms first as he goes into the second sector split, and he is improving by almost 4/10 of a second. This is gonna put him just ahead of Torn Penguin in 11th right now. So let's see what happens here. There's Go Lee in the background. Let's see what's gonna happen here into the last few corners here. Down Harmon Ave. Work it here. Make sure don't make any mistakes. And here comes Rhythms. He's gonna come across the line. And he goes 7th fastest. And unfortunately, Goat Lee, he improves by a couple tenths, but he is the slowest out of he's the slowest. Holy cow, what the hell, Union? How in the world do you wreck there? Unless you dozed off or something. Like, how? Or could be a possibility that maybe Union had a cataclysmic malfunction. Holy shit, Track Racer! 4 fastest. And Shorts improves his time, but stays in 15th. So there is Q1. So our top 3, it is Gecko, Willow, and Edvin. And we say goodbye to Union, who crashed, Goat Lee, who is the slowest, and Timbed, who had the server quality ban. Alright, looks like we got a good bunch coming on out to kick off Q2. Now, let's see here. So, for the races that we had earlier in the week, Tier 2 was in Qatar. That race was won by Fusion with Blonde in second, and Joe Wilson was in third. That was the podium. That was Tier 3, Tier 2 yesterday. Tier 2, not Tier 3. God, I'm getting them mixed up. So, Tier 3, unofficially right now, the race was won by Mickey. Resilience was in second, and Neymar was in third. And Tier 3, by the way, the championship is gonna be up for grabs in the finale next week. Oh, stay tuned for Tier 3. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. Okay. There we go. So heading down the coming up and heading to the strip, we have a looks like a V-carb. We'll have a V-carb and a Ferrari flying down. So Jack is gonna be our front guy for the Q2. Let's see what he's got as he heads to Speed Trap. Speed Trap about 2:15 at Speed Trap. Now flying down Harmon Avenue to the end, and Jack Miles will set the benchmark. 31.8 is the benchmark. Skither flies in with a 30.9. Kyo Senshi with a 31.7. Alex Norris 31.2. 30.9 for Willow. Gecko with a 30. What the hell? Rhythm's 31.5. Penguin 31.8. Look at that. Gecko, Skither, and Willow separated by 7 thousandths of a second. Reese just went 6 with a 31.5. So let's see. We got some more cars. Gonna get some laps in. Well, looks like Cookie has gone back to the pits. Same with Edvin. Trat Racer had a not so pleasant lap, so he's going to be trying again. Shorts going through his sphere. Blonde's gone back to the pits. So I think Cookie, Edvin, and Blonde must have had invalidations. That's why they couldn't do anything there. Yep, so Edvin invalidated the lap there. Looks like Cookie just scuffed up on his lap, so that's why he went back to the pits. Here's Shorts flying down the Vegas Strip, and let's see, it looks like hitting the speed trap 209, so he's about 6 miles an hour slower than Jack was when he did his mark. Jack was at around 215 when he hit the speed trap. So Shorts on a bit of a back foot here as he comes across, and he goes there, and Kyo Senshi has wrecked, exiting turn 2. So Kyosenshi has crashed, exiting out of turn 2. So he is now fully done. He was 7th in... He was... Yeah, no, sorry. 8th on the timing boards. So that is not good for Kyosenshi. So, on a second outing. Not good. So Cryptic has come across. He's got a 31-3 on his part. We have 3 other guys on outlaps. Let's see if we can get see if we can find out from Kyosenshi what happened to him. Okay, I'm not sure why. Huh. I just got the perm, so what? Yeah. Ah! The rear snapped on him. The rear went out when he was exiting turn 2, and that's when he crashed it. Yikes. And yeah, and just seeing the chat, just seeing the driver's chat for tier 1. These guys are talking about how close everybody is. Like, and I mean, they're not joking. I mean, 9/10 of a second separating basically the top 10, and then their shorts just chilling in the 32, the 32-0. And Jesus Christ, Cookie, 30.7. He's on the top of the board here. Let's see if Blonde or Edvin can respond here. Is that Edvin on Harmon Avenue? Yes, it is. So here comes Edvin. Flying across the line he goes. He goes 6th fastest. Here's Blonde. Where are you going to be, buddy? Cross the line. He goes 5th. So Blonde with a 31-0, Edvin with a 31-2. And the way it sits with everybody cycled in, the bottom 5 right now, it is Shorts, the slowest right now, Jack, Torn Penguin, Kyosenshi, who crashed, exiting out of turn 2, and Trat Racer. Those are your bottom 5 right now, but there's still 5.5 minutes left in Q2, so anything can happen in this next set. It's quite a wild spectacle, to say the least. 1.25 seconds separates the entire field. Well, until Gecko just did that 30.1. I mean, no doubt we saw scrub sets from a lot of these guys. So Gecko just putting on a fresh new set and just going full haywire. Oh, here's below, towards the boulevard. Hard Rock Cafe, Caesar's Palace. All interesting stuff to go into Vegas for. But then again, not only is it cool to go to Vegas on, but it's also expensive as Skither just 1 second fastest with a 30.2. Let's see let's see what Willow's got. 30.9 was his first lap. And Peruso with 30.4. That puts him just about 2/10 behind Skither right now. So Q1, Willow was the first to fire. And Q2, Skither responds. So the question is, who will get the better of the two in Q3? Well, we got 7 watching on hand. Let us know your thoughts. Who do you think will qualify better in Q3? Will it be Skither or will it be Willow? Alex Norris about 2/10 up in Sector 2. That's going to put him just ahead of Blonde. I think he might get lucky to nip Penguin with that run that he's got. Well, speaking of nipping Penguin, Reese just went 5th fastest, 30.7. Here we go with Alex Norris. Another fight on his hands. He goes up to 6th with a 30.8. So now, let's see what's going to happen. What's going to happen next? Here comes Strat Racer. Coming across. He goes up to 7th. The Ferraris, not the Ferraris, the Red Bulls and the Ferrari of Edvin are at risk. Blonde just came back out. Why don't I keep an eye on Edvin for his next lap? Let's see what he can do. He is at the bubble right now, which is the 10th place spot. The gap between 10th and 11th, 33 thousandths of a second. But let's see what we got. Here goes Edvin, firing away. And let's see if he can make improvements off of his first lap. Through turn 1, getting up to the gears, 5th gear, high revs, through 6, overtake in the middle of 6, into 6th gear, exiting out of 2, up to 8th gear. Down into the braking zone, 209 into turn number 3. Oh, smack! Clocked the wall with the rear tire, but he still improves. He's about a 10th up in Sector 1. Now through turn, I believe this is 8. And there is Skither ahead. So Skither is going to help. Skither's going to give Edvin a helping hand with a tow. There he is. We know Skither's not going to make it to the line in time, but that means his AI is probably might get in the way of a few guys. 222! That's the fastest speed we've gotten on this game. There comes Edvin. This is the lap to make it happen. He goes 3rd fastest. And here we go, laps in. Jack goes to 12th, Cryptic 13th, Rhythms in 11th. And Shorts only improves to 14th. So, a top 3, it is Gecko, Skither, and Edvin. And we say goodbye to both V-Carbs
of Rhythms and Jack, the Williams of Cryptic, the Mercedes of Shorts, and the Haas of Kyosenshi. Just seeing the driver's chat. Invade very happy with that top speed that he had. Had been complimenting Skither for helping him in that sector 3, and even Skither just said to Edvin that the sector 3 times are him and Edvin had identical sector 3s. That is wonderful. Oh, cars coming out onto the track for Q3. Let us know your thoughts. Who do you think will be pole position? Who do you think your top 3 is going to be? While these guys are out on the track, out and about on the track here, well, let's go over. Why don't we go over the schedule to wrap up this? Well, pretty much we'll just say this: the rest of the RPL schedule here for coming up. So tomorrow, Le Mans Ultimate, they will be taking to Fuji for their week 9 of their season. And then, next week, it's the finales for everything. Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 1, all next week, will be at Abu Dhabi to wrap up their season. And next Sunday, November 2nd, will be the last race for Le Mans Ultimate for Season 1. They'll be at Bahrain for their 10th week. Alright, so it looks like Alex Norris is going to be our guinea pig for the Q3. Let's see what he's got. Heading down towards turn number 3. It's turn 5? Okay, never mind. Down Colville Lane, now Westchester Drive. 6, here's 7 and 8 for the Sphere. And into 9, now down Sands Avenue. Through 10, past the Venetian. Wynn Hotel in 11, and into 12. Down the boulevard we go. It's about 218. 215 at the speed trap will be for Alex Norris. Hugging it close to the walls at a 15 and 16. And here he comes across the line. Will be Alex Norris. And it is a 30.5. Very respectable lap. by Alex Norris. 30.3 by Skither. Looks like Willow's just started up on his. Wow! Get a screenshot of that! Hello! What was that? I was just about to say, get a screenshot of that with Gecko getting a 1 minute 30 dead, and then Gecko and Torn Penguin just had a collision in turn 1. Right at the end of their laps. There's no grid. I didn't see any grid penalties be put into effect, get put on. So looks like they're okay. So they're safe there. Torn Penguin, who had Gecko up his butt right at the end in turn 17 before the line. Torn Penguin is the slowest right now out of everyone with that 31.3. And then that collision in turn number 1. We were on board with Gecko when it happened, so not sure what occurred. We'll have to see Penguin's POV of that if that is sent in. But we'll see what happens. So Edvin gets about 214 into the braking zone at the speed trap. There's Reese heading back to the pits. Edvin about to go across the line for his lap. So 30.3. So he is in 3rd right now. Cookie is in 6th place. Blonde is in 7th. And Willow has yet to get a lap put on the board. So, 3/4 of a second separating the top 6. And then 7th, 8th, and 9th separated by 0.3 of a second. Alright. Oh, well, we have a lull in the action. Let's take a look. Alright. Let's take a look. Short doesn't have a setup. How do you not have a setup, dude? Oh my goodness. You could just ask one. You could just taken one off of somebody and make some adjustments. That's why Shorts was off. Let's see. Dave. Well, Goatly non-Q3. I mean, the guy didn't even get out of Q1, sadly. He was, because him and Tidbed were the basically made the bottom 2. Goatly was the slowest on track in Q1, and Tidbed just had to serve a ban. No. Tidbed had to retire because he joined late and he had a quality ban. But literally, like, the gap, I had to look again with the Q1 gap, but I believe Goat Lee was like 7 or 8 tenths off of, was like 7 tenths off of 16th. Don't surf on a pit lane. You know, according to one YouTube channel that does like F1 game, that does videos on the F1 games. He has like a series that things fans want in the F1 games, and like one of the parts that has that listed, or like things that should be in the F1 games, and in one of the parts is that starting from the pit lane. Anyway, let's move on to. Actually, wait a minute. Cookie, getting some help from Reese. Oh, lag spike. Let's see if Cookie gets about 220. It was at 218 at the speed trap, so he is just behind. So he was just behind Edvin with that run. But he goes second fastest. Looks like Alex Norris must have made a mistake during the early stage of his run, so he's gonna be trying one more time. These fans want Lee to come back. I don't know. I'm staying neutral on that one. I think there's some people that will be very happy for him to come back, and others saying no, guy can stay banned. So I'm just staying neutral in that argument. All right, well, let's go to Reese here. About a tenth and a half behind in sector 1. Gonna need some nice improvements here in second sector. Cookie here is gonna repay the favor. Here for sector 3, 88 thousandths down for Reese in the second sector. So Reese is not looking at improvements now, but here he might. There's a Ferrari moving out of the way. That's Edvin. And here comes Reese. Come across the line. Hopefully Edvin makes it in time. With 6 seconds left on the board, Reese goes to 5th fastest. And, oh, Edvin did not make it in time. He was just short. Oh, man. Edvin was just short. Oh, man. He's probably kicking himself in the face right now. Together up by 3 tenths. It's gonna put him just ahead of Gecko. Well, Gecko's improving too. But here we go. Coming into Horman Avenue, we got both Red Bulls on. Let's see what they got for laps. We kick it off with Torn Penguin, 7th place. Blonde coming across now. He takes 7th. Gecko improves to a 29.7. Here comes Skither across the line. 30-0. Willow, can he get the pole? No, he's up by 31 thousandths off of Skither. So Gecko gets pole position here in Vegas. And in the fight for second in the Drivers' Championship, Skither draws the first blood from qualifying, being ahead of Willow. Cookie, impressive run to be in 4th place. Edvin in 5th. Reese 6th, Alex Norris in 7th. The Red Bulls are 8th and 9th. Trat Racer is in 10th. And I wonder what Edvin would have done had he made it to the line in time. Could he have been right on par with Skither? Or, crazy yet, could he have made a shot to go after Gecko for pole position? But you gotta feel bad for Edvin. Practically maybe about half a second away from the line. Oh, that's just heartbreak. He just missed it. Alright, so there it is. Look at that. Look at that. So the top 10, the top 8 separated by 8/10 of a second. You got Penguin 1.06 behind, and then Trap 1.4 behind. But we'll be moving into the race, and we cannot wait for what is on here for this one. 29 laps. So, here's your grid. Just showing it up on here. So, front row it is Gecko and Skither. Row 2 will be Willow and Cookie. Edvin and Reese making up row 3. Alex Norris will go qualifying in the Haas. He'll be with Blonde in row 4. Penguin and Trav Racer making up row number 5. The V-Carbs, Rhythms and Jack will be taking up row number 6. And by the way, Rhythms is the Tier 3 is trying to go for a championship next week for Tier 3. Cryptic will be occupying row 7 with F1 Shorts. Kiyosenshi made the mistake, exiting out of turn 2. He is in 15th, and he'll have Union alongside him for row number 8. And then the Kick Salbers of Goat Lee and Timbed is the back row. It is Vegas in Nevada, so dry race all the way around. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Here we go. The 5 lights come on to start the Vegas Grand Prix. Lights out and off we go. Very great reaction from Willow. Heading into turn number 1, trying to get ahead of Skither. Little contact from the back between Edvin and Willow. Willow and Skither trying to fight as they head into turn number 3 here. And going ahead goes Willow. But can he hold it as he heads into there? More movement in the background. We see the Haas going up against Cookie in the background. That's for the 5th place position. Tag around. There goes Torn Penguin. And 3 wide here. We got 3 wide fight here. There's Trap, Blonde, and Reese all together sandwiched in. And Trap had no choice but to cut the sphere. He had no choice. He was quite the outlier on that one. Jack Miles right behind him, looking for the move on the inside, heading towards turn number 10, turn 12, and ahead he goes into 8th place. Gecko clear ahead of Willow by 1.1 seconds. Rhythms battling with Union for the 12th place position right behind. Kiyosenshi battling with Shorts for the 14th position. The Salvers also way in the back battling it out for the dead last position. There goes Union into a spin. Alright, contact between Kiyosenshi and Union into there. But the first lap's completed. First lap is completed. It is Gecko over Willow, Skither, Edvin, Alex Norris, Cookie, Blonde, Jack, Reese, and Trat Racer. That is your top 10 going into this. Here we go into turn number 5 here. No movement for Skither to make the move on Willow to go for second right now. So let's take a look at everybody's tires. Let's see what everybody is kicking off on. So Blonde, Reese, F1 Shorts, and Union are all on the hard compound tires. Everybody else is on the medium compound tires. 25 laps on hand for this Vegas race. We're on board with Edvin as he's staying in tune with his teammate. DRS is applied here, so Skither could go for the move against Willow here. Let's see how Willow's going to respond to Skither. Will he make the move? No, he does not. Skither waiting and biding his time out in regards to there. Once we get to the end of lap 5, we'll take a look at everybody's positions, see who is the biggest gainer and who is the biggest loser from this opening stint. Trat Racer on the back end of Reese for the 9th place position. Cryptic trying to stay in tune with him. Skither and Willow still staying close behind as Gecko's starting to pull even further away from Willow. 1.6 seconds to gap. Torn Penguin getting past Union for the 15th place position, heading towards turn number 5 on the track map. Step back a little further. Let's take a look at Kiyosenshi in the 12th position. There's Cryptic and Trat Racer ahead of him. And he's got Rhythms and Shorts behind as well. Shorts, by the way, we found out, does not have a custom setup on. He's stuck on one of the presets. Ooh, that was Trat Racer almost getting too close with the wall there. Let's see if Skither has a moment to go for it this time. It looks like the answer is no. But one thing to note for Willow, Skither has practically a full battery available, while Willow has just burned through almost all his battery. Let's go towards Blonde and Jack. This is for the 7th place spot. Now bear in mind, Blonde is on loan for Red Bull Academy. He is not driving with us, so Jack can fight him if he wants to. Edvin getting closer to Skither. And no movement still from the upper echelon of that top 5. Well, speaking of movements though, Cryptic and Rhythms getting into it. That's for the 12th place position. There's Shorts right behind him as well. But no movement on Shorts to go past Cryptic for 13th. But Cryptic trying to keep on tabs with Rhythms here. Let's switch over to Trat Racer. Trat Racer much closer to Reese here. Wooly had that advantage heading into here, but let's go switch back to the battle for second. Skither closer this time. Gaining. Will he go for it? There he goes on the inside and through and ahead goes Skither up into second place. In the background, Jack battling with Blonde, heading into turn 14, and Jack gets the move done. He is into 7th place. Reese right on his tail as well. Will he make a move going towards turn number 1? Answer is not just yet, but Blonde was thinking of a move, but didn't seem to make the most of it. He stays in the 8th position, Reese right behind him in 9th. Let's go right on board with Reese. There's Blonde down the inside against Jack. Goes into the position. And Reese opting to not make the move just yet. But he is close on point here. So Blonde has a little train, has a tiny train of his own, and Skither has made a mistake. What in the world is going on with Skither? Skither just had 2 massive lag freezes. He was in 2nd, he just plummeted down to 6th. What the hell happened? Well, in the background, there's Reese on the outside going against Jack. And Jack now fighting it back into 15 down Harmon Avenue. Gonna get a better exit this time. They're gonna roar down the ERS into the final corner. Reese and Jack not done yet. Oh, contact! Contact! Bumping and banging between the two. And look at that! Trap Racer just takes advantage of both, just saying, hey, thank you for the position, boys. Trap Racer up into 8th, but Reese was like, oh, hell no, you get back behind me. And, oh, Trad has gone off. Now, Trad did have a lag spike. We did see that exiting out of 2. And he just lost out on the spot. Well, he lost more than that. He just lost a couple of spots. Well, several spots. Speaking of spots, let's see. So the biggest gainers and losers so far. Biggest gainer, Kyo Senshi, with 5 positions gained. And our biggest loser, sadly, is Torn Penguin, with 6 positions lost. But that was because of that incident he had at the start of the event. But let's switch back to the top fight for 2nd place as Edvin passes Willow for the 2nd place position. Cookie also gets past Alex Norris to take the 4th position. What a crazy 2 laps this has been. I mean, first we had Skither with 2 major spikes of lag that just shunted off from 2nd to 4th, then from 4th to 6th. And then Trad Racer had a moment of lag spike, and he fell off and lost multiple spots in braking zone. Union, by the way, just cleared Timbed for the 17th place position, and Timbed has just lost his wing and sped in the pits too. That's gotta suck. Shorts just passing Cryptic for the 12th position. So just 2 more spots, and Shorts could try to get some points here. Speaking of some haul of points, Willow on the back of Edvin, but Edvin's got a bit of a train of company as Union is just disconnected. Jack gets past Kyo Senshi for the 9th position. Willow down the inside gets it done. And ahead he goes into the back in the 2nd place, Edvin in 3rd. And Kyo Senshi just got past Jack, passes Jack again to get back in the 9th. And Shorts now into 11th, passing Rhythms. Could be screen freezes, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to check with Skither and ask what happened when he has a bit of a moment. We'll have to figure that out at some point later on. Speaking of Skither, he is chasing Alex. He's caught back to the front group. He's chasing Alex Norris down. This is for 5th. Rhythm's just got himself into the penalty box at the Sphere. Coming up in this corner here, this is where Kiyosenshi had his track limit penalty. Just coming off of Sands Avenue and onto the strip. Skither on the back of Alex Norris. There's Cookie ahead of him. Edvin losing tabs to Willow. And Skither passing by on the outside. And into 5th place he goes. Reese in the background just got we got Blom for 7th, and Jack gets past Kiyosenshi again to get himself into 9th again. What will Jack keep that spot? I think Kiyo was trying to get it back beforehand. Cryptic getting past Rhythms for the 12th position. So now Willow is in command of a train. He's got Edvin, Cookie, Skither, and Alex Norris on his tail. And all the while, Gecko is 3.8 seconds clear of Willow right now. Let's see what's good this guys. He's on the back end of Cookie. This is for 4th place. Skither on a small bit of a recovery here. Skither right now not close enough for it. In the background, Blonde getting past Reese again to reclaim 7th. And Rhythm's getting past there. Contact between Kiyosenshi and Jack. And Kiyo gets back into 9th. Skither gets past Cookie. There's Cookie again. Side-by-side contact. They're back at it. Here we go. The rivals. On it here. Trat just disconnected. And Skither gets it done, and up into 4th he goes. We just lost Trat and Union. Let's see if we can try to get these guys back. Give us 2 seconds. Where the hell is Traverser? Of course. Trav, where are you, dude? There you are. Get you both back in here. Just in time, too, onto the strip. Skither and Edvin chasing Willow down. Here goes Edvin down the inside. No, changed his mind and waits. Edvin still remains in 3rd. Willow hanging on. And Willow and Edvin are into the pits. Could we see another war again between Cookie and Skither? Possibly. Well, speaking of wars, in the turn 14, Rhythm's getting past Goat Lee for the 15th position. And Alex Norris and Cryptic also pitted as well. Willow comes out in the 8th position. Edvin in behind the 9th. Alex Norris in 10th. And Cryptic is going to come out behind Rhythms in 15th. Edvin staying, sorry, not Edvin. Alex Norris staying pretty close to Edvin right now, and everybody doing these guys making their first stops onto the hard compound is Willow, Alex, and Edvin. So we could see Gecko and Skither coming in shortly to respond to their teammates. Reese, unfortunately, not close enough to Blonde to try to reclaim what's right now 4th place. Gecko is in. Skither coming in too. No, Skither is staying out as Alex Norris passes Edvin for the 10th position. Cookie is in. Now let's see. Let's go with Alex Norris. See how this responds out. Here comes Willow into turn 1, and he's going to be just behind. He's going to be just behind Gecko, but Edvin and Alex Norris both get Cookie on that undercut. So Gecko comes out in 5th place, 1.4 seconds ahead of Willow, and Willow almost 3 seconds clear of Alex Norris right now. So, looking at the groups here, Strat Racer Union, both in AI, so not paying much attention to those two, but the top 4, Reese, Shorts, Blonde, and Skither, have yet to make their stop. We should be seeing them pretty soon. See if Reese is going to be any close enough to go for an overtake, possibly. He's going to get pretty close, but he's decided not to wait for that opportunity there. Meanwhile, in the background, there's Gecko on the outside, passing and getting past Shorts to get himself into 4th. Skither is in now. Actually, bear in mind, I believe. Okay, yeah, Shorts, Reese, and Blonde, they're on the hards. So we'll be seeing them in the next 3 laps. We'll be seeing them come in. And Skither is going to come out. Is Cookie going to get him? They're side by side! They're side by side here! And Cookie is ahead of Skither here. And Skither not willing to take any risks, and he stays in behind Cookie. So Skither in 9th place from that stop. So that is going to put Skither in 6th once everybody cycles through. The 2 Mercs and Blonde. Now, look at the ERS availability from these front cars, from these guys. So, Edvin with 30%, same with Cookie. Skither at 86%. There goes Shorts down the inside, and net lead right now. Blonde gets passed by Reese, and into the lead goes Reese. That's something you don't hear. That's something you haven't heard in a long while. Reese in the lead. Seen on the intersection of turn 14, and Reese does get the lead from Blonde here. Kiyosenshi battling with Rhythms for the 10th place position. Meanwhile, Cookie and Edvin battling it out for 7th here. Skither gets past Edvin as well at a turn 2. Now Skither trying on the back foot, trying to catch Cookie here. Well, he does have a lot of DRS availability on him. Scoot lead passes the AI, a Strat Racer, for 15th. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Gecko's lead over Willow, 3.2 seconds the gap. Let's take a look at the leader gap here. There it is. So, Reese 0.8 over Blonde and 3.4 seconds over Gecko right now. So that gap is going to start shrinking over in time. It's right on board with Skither as he has just trying to hound a Cookie and get the position going. Here we go. DRS applied. Skither gets the move in. Makes it look like clockwork and easy pickings. And in to 7th place goes Skither. Blonde and Reese are in to get off of the hard compound tires. Let's see where these guys will come out when this is all said and done. Looks like they're going to be in the 8th and 9th positions. And with a nice comfortable buffer over Rhythms down in 10th, who's still dealing with Kiyosenshi here. They're side by side in the turn number 1. Slip and slide there. And Kiyosenshi trying to get the move complete. He does. He's ahead. And Jack now trying to get himself into the fray here. Alex Norris passed Shorts for the 3rd place position. Now Shorts is still yet to pit at this present moment. Now Shorts, by the way, is going to be hounded because here's Skither right behind him. And Alex Norris is going to break the DRS off of Shorts here. Kiyosenshi battling with Jack to maintain the 10th position. And Skither gets past Shorts, but Shorts will get DRS because of it. Will Shorts make a move for an attack? No, not close enough. I mean, to be fair, the lad had a custom setup. He could have gotten it done. In the background, Kiyosenshi and Jack battling yet again. Cookie getting past Shorts. Now, Shorts should be coming in probably this time by to get off of those hards. I believe the pit stop loss is at least 20 seconds. So Shorts, I mean, unfortunately, when he comes out, he'll be just around with Torn Penguin in the 14th position, in the 13th or 14th place positions right now. Rookie still trying to keep tabs with Skither here to go for that move. Still trying to keep tabs on this fight here. And we have an incident. We have an incident in turn 16. That is Timbed. So Timbed has had an incident through there. Going into the pits. Here comes Skither on the outside to get past Alex Norris, and up into 3rd goes Skither. And Reese, by the way, battling with Edvin. Outside, whoa! Slip and slide contact. Edvin on the back foot, losing the position to Reese, but also lost some ground to Blonde as well. And F1 Shorts is in the pits now. And Timbed, by the way, comes out 1 lap down. And there's his AI car getting past Edvin. So looking at the live championship for 2nd place right now, Willow. Whoa! Skither's gone! Out wide. Skither went wide in the entry of the... Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's Edvin. God, I feel so bad. Thought it was Skither, I'm sorry. Sorry for the false alarm on the freak. Sorry. That was Edvin that went wide at the sphere. I apologize. But let's take a look at Blonde and Reese again. Here we go. DRS applied. Willow into the penalty box! Oh my god, this is gonna blow everything wide open now! I mean, Willow and Skither are separated by 2 points. If Willow stays ahead of Skither by 3 seconds and keeps his second place, going into the finale, Willow will be ahead of Skither by 1 point. Long gets past Reese and up into 6th he is. Cookie on the back end of Alex Norris. And Alex Norris is actually out of DRS range against Skither. So that means, Alex Norris, you got some trouble on you, buddy. Oh, say that ass. Cookie manages to save it. That back end was just snapping off on him, but he keeps it intact. But Alex Norris now doing what he can to try to maintain that 4th place position over Cookie right now. And Cookie now not close enough right now. But Skither is now within 3 seconds of Willow right now. So Skither will get second right now over Willow, which means going into the finale, Skither will have a 5-point advantage over Willow for second in the championship. Cookie still trying to get close to Alex Norris to buy his time to go for the move, but nothing to come out of it. Let's go a little further back. Jack on the back end of Edvin for 8th place. Jack unfortunately not close enough. Just sort of smack. That would be the lap car Timbed clock in the wall of turn 5. Jack currently not close enough to Edvin to go for the attack here to get it done. So then Cryptic and Rhythms both behind Kiyosenshi. By the way, with Cryptic, he's right on the tail of both of these guys. Kiyosenshi and Rhythms both have 3-second penalties, which means Cryptic will get himself a point at least out of this group. Let's go to Cookie and Alex Norris. Much closer this time around, but no action out of it as Cookie still stuck behind him. But what about Jack and Edvin? Will Jack have a better move this time? He's going for it. Contact! Bumping and banging wheels, and Edvin going a little wide. Contact again! And Jack scrapes away out of that brawl and gets himself in the 8th place. Edvin falling to 9th. Edvin getting his elbows out and putting the boxing gloves on, but first round knockout going into Jack's favor. And it looks like Union has gone a lap down. The AI Union has gone a lap down. And he has returned back. Oh, imagine Union's shock and awe when he sees, whoa, Kiyosenshi trying to save face. Whoa! Side by side. Cookie's close. There he goes. On the outside. He's biding his time and waiting. And Cookie finally gets the move ahead and into the lead. Goes not the lead. Going into fourth. Goes Cookie over Alex Norris. I want to say going for the lead is when Alex Norris was still in Ferrari and Cookie was in McLaren. But look at this brawl here. Cryptic over Kiyosenshi side by side heading into 14. Make contact. They're stuck. And there's Shorts in the crossfire. Shorts trying to get by. There's Rhythm's involved too. Rhythm's going for a 2-for-1 special. And he gets it done into 11th. Goes Rhythms. And Shorts now on the inside of Kiyosenshi. But now trying again on the outside. Look at that. Nice moves by both. Rhythms before turn 1 and then Shorts in turn 2. Very wonderful stuff. Right on board with Alex Norris as Union goes for a spin. Now, the battle for turn, the battle for fourth is on again. And we also see Skither on the back foot of Willow right now. And down the outside, Alex Norris gets back into fourth position. Now Reese not close enough to Blonde at the moment to go for the move. But we have a move here. Shorts on the outside against Cryptic. Shorts on a preset. No setup in hand. Edvin into the penalty box. There goes Kiyosenshi with Rhythms. Oh, slipping and sliding goes Kiyosenshi. There goes Reese on the inside against Blonde. Gets it done, into 6 he goes. But look at this fight. The fight for second. And what's essentially... This is essentially to increase the buffer between him and Willow going into the finale next week. Skither all over the back of Willow. And here we go into the strip. Willow, 60% of the ERS. Skither has 80. Down the strip. And going to the inside. Will be Skither. But Willow breaks later and keeps the position over Skither. Cookie, by the way, gets past Alex Norris for fourth. With 3 laps to go, we have 3 major fights here. We have a battle for second, a battle for fourth, and a battle for sixth. And also Shorts on the back end of Edvin to go for ninth. So 4 fights, all in the points. This is wild. Now, I will say this might get a little hard to track him. Oh. Well, Timber just crashed. Double yellows involved. And Shorts actually got past Edvin. Just before the yellows. Shorts on a preset. Look at that, 2 points. Kiyosenshi gets past whoa. Torn Penguin was like, I don't have any of this. I'm up to 12. Let's get back to this. Willow ghosting inside Skither. Skither gets second, but There was some ghosting involved in there. I think maybe Skinner had a screen freeze or a lag spike again. 2 to go now. Cryptic getting past Edvin for 10th. So Edvin's now out of the points. Let's look at this fight now. Reese now involved with Alex Norris and Cookie. This will be critical here. The brawl between the fourth place cars. 4 cars stuffed inside a stuffed shell. That could have came out a lot better. That part could have came out a lot better. But anyways, here we go. Alex Norris trying to claw in. Reese trying to push. Willow trying to make the shot. Just can't seem to go. Timbit has crashed again. Final lap. Sponsored by MGM. Willow still harassing the back of Skither. Alex Norris still on the back of Cookie. Reese on the inside of Alex Norris, now outside. Reese trying to convey the spot. Here he goes. Reese side by side with Alex Norris. Into turn 5. Who breaks later? Side by side. Oh, clock. Alex Norris gets moved over. Now in the 6th. Blonde fighting with him for 6. Side by side again. Woo! Tight, tight, tight. Holy cow. Willow now out of DRS. He can't get him. He can't get him. Crap. He's going down Harmon Avenue for the final time with a good gap on his hand. We'll switch quickly to it. Here he comes. Gecko will win in Vegas. We'll switch right back to the fight here. Skither will get 2nd place over Willow. So that means the gap is 5 points going into the finale next week. And it is not close enough. Cookie holds off to get 4th place. Reese 5th, Blonde 6th, Alex Norris in 7th. And Jack in 8th. Shorts on a preset will get himself into the points in 9th place. And Torn Penguin will finish in 10th. Torn Penguin just behind in 11th. Cryptic in 10th. And Kyo Senshi just holds Rhythms off to take 13th. And we wait for Goatly to finish it off. Wow. Well, I mean, you had the lag spikes. And basically doing a mini recovery. I mean, you could give a honor you could give an honor for Skither for a possible driver today. There's also Cookie with that phenomenal run in the Alpine. Skither said he disconnected during the mid-race. Yikes. Well, hey, you still recovered. Wonder the world is that? What in the world is that? Gecko celebrating on top of the podium with his teammate Willow in third and Skither in second. But that story is Skither and Willow 5 points go for the finale next week. And let's see. The game driver today is Shorts. Shorts also got the most overtakes. Reese cleanest driver. Race winner for Gecko. And Union with the fastest lap. But there it is. Gecko is your winner over Skither, Willow. Then the top 10, it is Cookie, Reese, Blonde, Alex Norris, Jack, Shorts, and Cryptic, the top 10. And then for the rest of the field, it is Torn Penguin, Edvin, Kyosenshi, Rhythms, and Goat Lee. And then those that were lapped, we had Trat Racer, Union, and Timbed.
So we had to make another one.
So, like I said, driver of the day. The game gave it to Shorts. The guy was on a preset. He didn't have a setup. And he managed to get 2 points. So there's one nod. Skither had a pair of disconnects. And was on the back foot. And he still recovered to get second place. And increase his buffer over Willow when they go into the finale next week. And then Cookie, with a strong fifth in the qualifying, holding off the big guys, and fighting with the big guys, and getting himself into fourth, is also something to give a nod to. I mean, overall performance-wise, I mean, I would give the nod to Cookie, but I mean, suffering the disconnects, I mean, it could. Oh man, I'm torn. I'm actually pretty torn over, should I give it a Cookie or should I give it a Skither? I mean, the disconnects could outweigh it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm stuck between those guys. But, I mean, those are literally my main... Those two are my main contenders for driver today, between Skither and Cookie. With an honorable mention to Shorts. Well, that's going to conclude the stream for tonight. But bear in mind, tomorrow, Le Mans Ultimate will be at Fuji for their Week 9 race. Hopefully, we'll have a stream for that one. We haven't had a stream for LMU in a few weeks. But then next week, all 3 tiers, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 1, will all be in Abu Dhabi. Now, I'll be on comms for Tier 1 for Abu Dhabi. I believe I'll probably be appearing as a co-commentator for Tier 2, because tomorrow, and the UK and other areas of Europe, their daylight savings time ends tomorrow. So, Tier 2 and Tier 1, I may be... Tier 1, I'm definitely going to be around for comms. Tier 2, I should be around. Probably help with the commentary if need be. And Tier 3, I might race. But if we don't see you for Le Mans Ultimate, Ty and Ironwolf will be signing off. We will see you next week for Tier 3 in the finale at Abu Dhabi.